Hi, my name is Mike Manson, and the team here at Simon Lucas Motors on the North Shore would like to congratulate you on your fantastic purchase of the new generation Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. Today I'm going to be going through the features of the vehicle and showing you how to set your vehicle up. The model I'm going to be facing on today is the top of the line VRX. In this range we got three models, the VRX, the XLS and the LS. I'm going to be pointing out the different features in the vehicle. So as I go through, I'll try and explain the differences between the VRX, XLS and LS models. Your Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid will come with a smart key system, and just to demonstrate how that works, you'll notice that on the door here there's a small button. The key's got to be roughly 70 centimeters from the vehicle, but if I give a light tap on the door handle, you'll notice the car's unlocked because your side mirrors will come out. You'll notice if I tap it again on exiting the vehicle, you want to lock it, you can always tell the vehicle's locked because your side mirrors will come in. Right, another really nice thing on the VRX model is that we've got the electric tailgate. So on your fob at the bottom here, you'll see there's a diagram with a tailgate opening and closing. If I want to open my tailgate, just give a firm push and you'll notice the tailgate opens. Another thing I want to demonstrate to you very quickly on the VRX model here, you'll notice that the tailgate's opening all the way up now with height. But if you're in a garage and you're limited with the height restrictions in which this opens up, I'll show you how we can alter the height. All I'm going to do here, you'll notice that there's a lock button here and a diagram with a tailgate. So what I'm going to do is just bring it down to a different height. So let's say this is where I want to program it. I'm now going to hold that down. And I'll show you the difference now. By pushing it, we can close the tailgate. But now that you've altered the height, if I give another firm tap here, you'll notice the tailgate's not going to go all the way up, it's going to stop at where I programmed it. Another really cool thing is that directly below your Mitsubishi logo, but if I just give a light little tap over here, we can open up the tailgate. I can then push the close button here if I want. But if I want to lock the vehicle and you don't want to be going to the side of the vehicle or using your fob, on the right hand side there's just a very, very small button, and if I tap that, the vehicle will be locked and off I go. Right, so let's get into it. Let's get into the vehicle now and set up all the features from a driver's position on your new Outlander plug-in hybrid. Right, so one of the first things you're going to do to set your vehicle up is obviously get your seating position correct. Now in the VRX model and the XLS model, we have electric seats. So just to point out, on the side of the seat here, you'll notice we've got one long button there. Now if I move that forward or backwards, that's to move your seat forwards and backwards. If I'm pushing it up, is raising my seat, that's dropping my seat. The one at the rear here, that's to basically adjust my seating position for my back. We've also got our lumbar support here, so if you really want to get your back nice and comfortable while you're driving, if I'm using my lumbar support, I'm pushing that forward, I can feel the back of the seat pushing in, and by doing that, it's pushing out. Very self-explanatory on this, but I'll cover it with you anyway. So we can obviously, this is central locking for inside the vehicle as well. I can operate my adjustment on my passenger's side mirror, the driver's side mirror, and this is how you control to get the settings correct. And that's obviously to bring your side mirrors in and out. And then we've also got your windows up and down for the passengers in the front, driver and passengers in the back. And if you don't want the kids and the little ones playing with the windows at the back, well, you can obviously get that locked off as well. So now that my seating position's set, the nice thing with the VRX model is that it comes with memory seats with two settings for the driver and for the passenger. And it's very easy to operate. So let's say, for example, I go to my setting, I want to get L1, I get my seating position adjusted, which I've already done. I hold it down to set and my position set, and it'll be displayed on the screen here. It'll say driving position saved. So one of the really nice things on the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, and this you'll find on the VRX model, the XLS model and also the LS model, is that we've got a really good digital screen display here. The nice thing about this is everything is crystal clear. Now to set up, for example, all your safety features on the vehicle, this is how easy it is. This is actually all controlled on the left hand side of the steering wheel here. You'll notice there's a little dial that I can scroll up and down with. There's a back button forward, and then we've got a shortcut menu. So just to show you, if I push my back button here, the first thing is going to open up is my settings. If I push this down, I've got my active stability control, so I can choose to put that on or off. I suggest it's a lot safer to keep it on all the time. Driver's assistance. This is really, really important. So with driver's assistance, we've got things like your blind spot warning that we can activate or deactivate. They are on now. These are a really cool feature in the car. So on your left-hand side mirror and your driver's side mirror, you'll notice that there's two little triangles. And if you, for example, driving on the motorway or in town, and there's a vehicle coming up on your blind spot, either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the vehicle, they will glow in a bright orange color. That's just really indicating to you it's not safe to pass. When they go off, then you know it's safe. If I scroll back again, we then got our emergency braking for front and rear. So basically with your emergency braking, this is, for example, if I'm driving and a car in front of me hits brakes, the car will warn me to brake. If I don't brake, the car will brake for me, preventing me driving into the back of somebody. And this is a really important feature. On your rear braking, if I'm, for example, backing up, the car has got rear sensors, but if I'm backing up and I'm getting too close to an object, your sensors will flatline, so you'll just hear like a beep. If you go past that, the car will brake, preventing you hitting the object behind you. Then we go into traffic sign alert. So basically you'll notice on the right hand side here there's a little symbol. It looks like a traffic sign. But if I'm driving and I'm, for example, in a 50k zone, the vehicle will pick it up. You'll see a little 50 monitored there. If it then changes to 70, this will change to 70 automatically. And if I'm exceeding the speed limit, that will flash. So it lets you know you're going over 70 kilometers an hour in a built-up area, for example. Then we got our parking sensors. As mentioned before, this vehicle's got forward sensors and backing sensors, and you can choose to either activate those or deactivate those. Then we've got our rear traffic alert, and this is a really, really nice feature in this vehicle. So for example, especially if you're by yourself and you're at a shopping center and you've got two big utes or trucks parked on either side and you're backing out, sometimes it's pretty nerve-wracking because you don't know if there's traffic coming from the rear. So if you are reversing out and your side mirrors or your blind spot warning indicators start flashing and it says rear traffic, it's letting you know it's not safe to back up. There are cars coming from the rear that you're not seeing. We scroll down again and you've got your things like your driver attention alerts. You can set timers, etc. for that as well. That's everything to do with driver's assistance. Then we can go into your personal display, right? So on your personal display, if I'm scrolling up and down, it's just going to cover things like your trip. You can set your trip A, trip B, your average fuel efficiency of the vehicle, time to destination, your navigation, or you can just keep it blank. Your next one would be your heads-up display. Really cool feature, and this is only found in the VRX model. I really like this. So my heads-up display is actually off the windshield in the front, and I can choose to activate or deactivate that. On the right hand side of the VRX model at the bottom, you'll see like a little picture of a vehicle with an exclamation mark, and that's to activate or deactivate your heads-up display. One of the biggest problems with heads-up display is to actually get the reflection on the windshield and directly in front of you. So the nice thing with this is I can actually, once I've opened up the screen, I can then get my brightness set correctly. I can get my height set up, so I can adjust it up and down. And I can also actually rotate it, so I can kind of just move the numbers slightly, all right, or the angle of what I'm seeing in front of me. Then we go into our eco settings, so obviously just your eco drive mode, eco information settings, and the history of the vehicle. So that's going to be things like what your average fuel efficiency is and how economically you're running the vehicle. Just remember, on cars like this, one of the great things with the plug-in hybrids is the more you charge, the more fuel efficient you're going to be. Right, we can also choose to activate or deactivate our tailgate just by tapping here. We've got our lighting as well, so we can choose to have our welcome light either on, off or on, our auto room lamp off or on, and also your mood lighting. And you'll notice your screen opens up here, and we can make your mood lighting inside the vehicle brighter or dimmer. And this is all situated only on the VRX model, around the door handle frames, etc. Scroll back. We've got our locking of our vehicle, so we can either sensitive unlock, auto door unlock, power off or on. Our wipers, so we can have it speed sensing. Right, so obviously the more rain hitting the windshield, the faster your wipers will go. Automatic wipers, and I'll just show you, for example, with the wipers as well, you can actually also activate it from the stalk, and you'll notice that I've got an auto setting. So if I scroll down here, there's my automatic wipers, and I can choose to put that on or off. Auto is always a good setting, and that will be exactly the same with your headlights. I can do it off the stalk as well. Driving position, right, so that's what I, for example, set up for you earlier on. And then your rear seat alert. Okay, so I'll explain to you what that does now. So let's say, for example, you've got passengers in the back of the vehicle and you get to your destination and you get out the vehicle, you close the door and you walk away and you lock it. If there's people in the back, the car will, for example, give a horn and an alert. So in other words, the horn will go off, or just an alert only is beep, 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 beep. All right, just letting you know there's still passengers in the vehicle. So it's actually a really, really good concept, and you can choose whether you want that on or off in your different settings. Then your maintenance of the vehicle. So in other words, things like your service, the car will count down and tell you when your next service is due. So on a vehicle like this, your first checkup, which is a really important one, will be at 1 month or 1,500 kilometers. After that, it's going to be every 15,000 kilometers or a year, whatever comes first. You can, for example, also program when you want your tires rotated. Display settings. You've also got your contents selection. This is really cool while you're driving, because what you can do basically is, if I activate that and I just scroll my button up and down, it can just go to all sorts of different things on the move while you're driving that I've kind of covered now at the moment. Auto cruise display, that's already activated, so that's just with your adaptive cruise control, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Then your temperatures, and you can also change the language in the vehicle. So we've got English, Dutch, French, Italian. A really cool feature on this car is adaptive cruise control. What adaptive cruise control means is, if you set the vehicle to 100 kilometers an hour and the car in front of you is slowing down to 80, 60 or 40, your car will automatically slow down, because the radar up here will pick up what the distancing is between the vehicles. Very easy to activate. It's going to be on the right hand side of the steering wheel. I'm going to activate the button here, and you'll notice here we've got your settings. So this is close, near and far. Once you get the speed that you're happy with, you just tap it down to set, and you take your foot off the accelerator, and the car will then hold the distance that you set, and the speed that you set, and operate the distancing. The nice thing you'll notice over here as well, so if I just scroll over to the top again, there's our navigation side here. This car's got built-in set navigation, right? But I'll show you how easy it is to utilize. So on your right hand side here, you'll notice there's a talk button. That's actually to answer a phone call, but watch this. I push the talk button down.
Please say or select a command.
Navigation.
Navigation. Please say or select a command from the displayed list.
Go to address.
Street address. Please say the address in New Zealand starting with the house number, or starting with the street name if a house number is not available.
33 Northbrook Close, Greenhithe.
33 Northbrook Close, Greenhithe. Calculate route, adjust location, or change address.
Calculate route.
Calculating route.
So that's just with the voice prompting, but you can see what I've done now is
The
because
route has been calculated. Please drive onto a digitized road.
So basically you can see what I've done now is, if I scroll here and I get to my navigation on my screen here, I can actually have my maps displayed directly in front of me. It's a really cool system, because when you're driving, you're not necessarily looking there all the time, so everything will be situated directly in front of you here. Right, so one of the things with the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid, the vehicle is exceptionally quiet. As a matter of fact, while we've been filming this, the electric motor has been running. But I'd just like to show you my next setting that I can go to here, right, has got to do with the vehicle. Once the screen opens up, you can see very clearly there's a diagram over here, and you'll actually see your engine, your wheels, and your battery. All right, once the screen opens up, there is a prompt. You'll see on the right hand side here, right, we've got a few little dots, and this applies to any screen. So once the screen opens up and you see that, if I actually scroll my dial down here, you can actually see I can actually look at my battery temperature while I'm driving, see what the car is physically doing. And the nice thing with this is, when your petrol motor clicks in, you'll actually see it burning orange and feeding the battery. When you're in regenerative braking, you'll actually see the wheels feeding the battery with green arrows running into there. All right, and if I scroll up another one, that's just your super all-wheel drive control system. All right, one of the really nice things with a super all-wheel drive control system, it just depends on what conditions or what road surfaces you're driving on. So I find these vehicles are very, very economically if you're driving in eco mode. You got normal mode, which is just everyday driving conditions as well. But if the situation, so tarmac, for example, if you're driving, really got to do with windy roads, it's got to work with regeneration, but also give you ultimate traction on those conditions. Then we've got your gravel settings, depending on where you're driving, but obviously on gravel, you want more traction, safety, that's the way to go. And obviously you've got a snow setting as well as mud. Now that's controlled all of this dial in the middle here. And that you do on the move, on the drive. Right, the other nice thing is we've got the information display over here. So once again, you can see on the right hand side here, I've got my prompts. So if I scroll down here, it just gives you different information that you can do with the vehicle. So in other words, your average liters to 100k, your EV driving ratios, etc. And you can have all the information displayed up here for you as well. It's just convenience and very, very easy for you to operate. And you just scroll your back button and it'll take you home. And that's basically, we've covered everything to do with the settings and the setup of the vehicle, the way you'd like it set up. So one of the really cool features is Mitsubishi's gone and created a shortcut menu for us. It's less features, but it's everything you need while you're driving. That's this button here. Look how cool this is. I tap that button there. I can change my display view. So now it's analog, which is really, really cool. And then I can just scroll down. So you've got your audio source, so that's going to be your AM, FM, your driver's assist, that's things like your blind spot warning, lane departure warning, etc. And your personal display, so in other words, your gears, trips, fuel economy, time to destination. And as I scroll up, you can see I can have that all be displayed on the left hand side here. So if I want my navigation, well, that's where it's going to be. Simple as that. Right, one of the things to set your vehicle up is obviously your radio stations. This is a very easy process in this vehicle. They've made it very easy. So all you need to do, let's say for example I want FM, I'm just going to tap on my FM button here. I'm going to go to my FM menu. What I can do is I can refresh it. So it's going to pick up every radio station in this area. So let's say for example I want the hits. I'm going to tap the hits here and I'm just going to hold it down on number 1. And that's now programmed. Once you've got your radio station set up, very easy, you can operate the volume by pushing on the steering wheel, or I can operate it from the dial over here. That's really good for passengers actually. So one of the really cool systems here is our SDA system over here. It's very easy to operate and crystal clear. So if I tap my settings over here, screen opens up. You've got things like your connections, your navigation, things like your sound. So if you want to operate your bass, treble, balance, fader, etc., very, very easy to operate. You've obviously got your audio volume that you can operate from here, or the steering wheel, guidance volumes, etc. All right. You can also choose your programming of your clock. You can also customize the menu if you want to. All right. So that's a different setup now. And if I scroll over here, you've got your voice activation, your cameras where you can adjust the brightness, the dimness, etc. So just to show you there. So one of the really nice things on the new generation Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid VRX model only, all right, we've got the 360 camera. Look how easy this is. So if I want to see everything in front of the vehicle, on my SDA system here, you'll see a camera mark, tap camera. You'll notice now we've got a view of everything in front of us, plus an aerial view of the vehicle. If I turn my steering wheel, see those green lines? It will actually tell me where my wheels are. If I tap the camera again, that's going to be your front left side. Why is your front left wheel so important? Because sometimes if you don't want to scuff your wheels against a curb, I can see where my front left wheel is. Look how crystal clear that is. So I can actually see how close to the curb I am. And if I want just to have a really wide view of everything in front of me, I'll tap the camera again, and that's one big wide shot in front of me. Now if I want to set my phone up, and on an iPhone, right, it's wireless. So I'll show you what I'll do now. I want to set up to my Apple CarPlay. So I'm going to go to my phone setting here. I'm going to go into my settings on my phone, and I'm going to activate my Bluetooth. On your phone, it will just show as Mitsubishi Motors. I'll just get that activated quickly. I'm now going to pair my phone to the vehicle. I'm going to allow all my contacts to go over. And now I'm going to use my Apple CarPlay. Yes. Yes. And there's my phone, all linked up and wireless. On the right hand side, you'll notice there's a talk button here. This is very important to use your Apple CarPlay or your Android. Don't push the talk button quickly. You just push it down and wait for a beep, and then you can give it instructions. Send Connor Manson a message.
What would you like to say?
Hey boy, it's Dad shooting a video today. I hope you get your motorbike sorted out.
Your message to Connor Manson says, hey boy, it's Dad shooting a video today. I hope you get your motorbike sorted out.
Ready to send it?
Yes?
Okay, it's sent.
It's such an easy system to utilize. The nice thing is if my son sends me a message back, I'll have a little 5 pop up over here. I tap that and the car will talk the messages out. You guys might, for example, be planning a road trip tomorrow and you're looking for a place to stay and you don't know the area you're in. It's this easy. You get to the town you're in, I can push the talk button. Hotels and motels.
One option I found is Carnwall Hotel
There's-
Takapuna on Rioti Avenue in Takapuna. Want to try that one?
It has all the hotels in this area. So let's say, for example, I want to go to Sylvia Park, just as an idea. I can push go on my maps and off we go. I can also, this over here would just be taking me back to my home screen, and if I scroll over here, we've got all the applications on my phone. I can get weather reports. What's the weather like in Auckland tomorrow?
Expect partly cloudy skies in Auckland tomorrow. The high will be 16 degrees and the low will be 9.
That's how easy that is to operate. So one of the nice things on the SDA system as well is if I tap my information button over here, I can basically go into my energy usage. So this will give us, or the vehicle will at least let us know what our combined range is with our fuel and the charge that we've got in the vehicle. Another nice thing is people say, but where are the charging stations, etc.? This is great. I just tap on charging station. It will filter out, give me all the charging stations in the area. So let's say, for example, I want to go to the North Shore Hospital one, tap over there, and my maps will activate, and I'll just push start on that menu there. Right, now we're just going to cover the center console. So up here, I've got my hazard lights, very easy to activate. My air conditioning unit here, I can activate this on. The cool thing here, it's dual climate control. So I can have my temperature, for example, running at 23. Passenger can be down at 20. This is obviously to operate the rear, which we'll cover a little bit later. This is to demist the front of the car. This is to do the rear of the vehicle. Then I've also aircon off, auto, and I've got my heated seat situated here as well for driver and passenger, and that's just my different settings in terms of the heat coming through. This is our electronic handbrake. It's very easy to operate. Foot on the brake, tap it down, that's off, your light goes off. If you want to activate it, you put it on. My auto hold button is a really cool feature. If I tap that now, and always start this at the beginning of your journey, you'll notice now your orange lights on. This means if I'm driving in traffic and I put my foot on the brake, the car, I can actually take my foot off the brake, the car's just going to hold in place with no roll whatsoever. That's forward or backwards, and as soon as I hit the accelerator, it's going to deactivate, and when I hit the brake again, it'll activate. Right, we've also got 2 USB ports situated over here. This button over here is what we call assisted foot brake. All right, if I activate that here, you'll see a little green symbol arriving next to your ready sign here. This is really nice for town driving. That means if you're on the accelerator and you basically ease your foot off the accelerator, the car automatically goes into kind of a braking system. This really helps a lot with regeneration and turning kinetic energy back into electricity. So if you're on downhills, etc., I really strongly advise you to utilize the system. It works really, really well. Then next to that, we've got our EV mode. So if I tap this over here, you'll see your settings arrive here. So this will tell you what your different modes are. So EV is pure electric driving. I can also save my charge. So let's say, for example, I've got a range of 50 kilometers. I'm going into the city. I can save that charge of mine and start utilizing that when I get into the city. And the other thing you'll hear now, I can also charge the vehicle directly from inside here. Another really nice thing on the Mitsubishi Outlander, the new generation plug-in hybrid, is on my steering wheel here at the back, I've got two pedals. The left one's got a minus and the right one's got a plus. This is what we call regenerative braking. I find the best conditions to use this on would be on a downhill. So what I can do is actually take my foot off the accelerator, and if I pull my left pedal towards me, you can actually feel the engine braking coming in and the right one's releasing it slightly. But what the car's doing, and it goes from B1 to B5 and B5 back to B1. But what the car's doing is using regenerative braking, right? Turning that heat or kinetic energy back into electricity. So the car's always giving you something back. That's the great thing about a plug-in hybrid, is that we can drive it in pure electric mode, and every single time you even tap the brake, it's turning kinetic energy back into electricity. When you run out of range, the nice thing is your petrol motor will automatically click in, and at the same time it's building up charge. So it's always giving you something back. On the top here, we've also got, call them reading lights. The main one on, and obviously this one we've deactivated it because the doors are open, but if your doors are open, that'll stay on. When they're closed, it'll go off. Sun visors here, notice that we could come down nice and large, so very, very effective, both for the driver and the passenger. And as soon as you pop this up, we've got lighting here as well, which is a really, really cool feature. So one of the really nice things with the VRX model, it comes with a sunroof and a panoramic. So on my right hand side here, I can open up the sliding screen. Very easy to activate, one tap. And it's got 2 points, so that's the first point, and then I can continue it all the way back for the passengers as well. My sunroof is the one on the left hand side, so I can open up my sunroof, close my sunroof. And on a really, really hot day, you might just want to tilt the sunroof up slightly, so we're just going to do that, and your sunroof's tilted. Really nice thing in the VRX model, you'll notice that we have got heated rear seats over here, and I can also control my temperature at the back for your passengers through your aircon. And down here, we've got 2 USB ports, and we've also got a 240 volt charger down here. Right, so comfort for passengers in the back is premium. Really cool thing is there's a little bar underneath the seats here, both sides. I can pop that up, I can slide the seats forward and backwards, creating more space. I can also tilt the seats up and down from a lever here. And if I pull this little strap here, I can actually drop the center console down. Now this is dual purpose, you can put anything with length over here, or it's got the cup holders for your passengers as well. Right, one of the nice things on the Mitsubishi Outlander, the VRX, is that the vehicle actually comes with sunshades for your passengers in the rear. So if you have a look here, just pop that screen up and I can lock it into place. Happy days. Right, the other really good thing is if you actually look at the cargo space, I mean, ample cargo space here. If I am going to be loading anything with a bit of length, all right, or I'm looking for more space, I can always pull the little lever on the right hand side here, and that will drop my seats down. And if I pull this lever here, now you can see how this car is totally transformed in terms of what you can load into it. Right, the VRX model and the XLS model are 7-seaters, so this is how easy it is to utilize. Little strap over here, we're just going to pull that back. Your next movement, put your hand in here, you're going to lift it, right? You're going to lock it down into place. Then what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull on strap number 2, it's going to lift it up, okay? And these are my headrests. And then obviously what you can do at this point in time, if you want to adjust the seats, you then just move to the middle row. You can move those slightly forward, giving the passengers in the back more space. Put it down again. You're just going to pop the lever or your headrest down like that. We're going to then pop it down like that. And we're then going to pull on that system there. As easy as that. Right, the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in range does not come with a spare wheel. It does come with the following. So if you just lift this section up here, you'll notice that we've got our wheel spanners over there. We've got a compressor, and we've got a liquid that will go into the wheel or the tire if you get a puncture. If you need fuel, you'll notice you need to actually tap the little button over there, and my fuel cap is on the left hand side of the vehicle. I can operate my electric tailgate from here, from inside the vehicle as well. That is the button I was talking about earlier on with your heads up display to activate that or put it off. That's your lane departure warning. Then this is also for my digital clock display in front of me, so if I want to just make it brighter or dimmer, it's all digital over here. To get the charger out, we have to actually push the unlock button over here. So with the Mitsubishi new generation plug-in hybrid, you'll be issued with a cable. This is just to charge up at home. The great thing is, on the right-hand side of the vehicle, you're just going to tap this in. The big couple on the right-hand side, that's going to be for your fast charge stations. The one on the left is for home charging. So you'll notice it's got a blue light there. I'm just going to take this and put it in. It's now locked into place. The light will turn green. A really, really good tip, especially we're going into winter now, would be while the cable's in, it's take an opportunity to actually warm your car up before you drive off. The other thing that I've noticed while I've been driving the vehicle is I really like the heated seats, especially in the XLS and the VRX model, because I'm not going to be using too much power and it's going to keep the car nice and warm and I haven't got hot air blowing onto my face. So heated seats, key. And remember, for fuel efficiency, the more you charge, the more fuel efficient you're going to be. Once your car is charged and you now need to remove the cable, I need to come to the front of the vehicle. I need to push the unlocking button. You can hear it beep. Light turns blue. I can now remove it, close up, and off you go. Right, so if you want to see things like your windshield reservoir, if you need water, just check your oil levels. On the right hand side is your bonnet release. Directly below the diamond shield badge here, we're just going to pop this up. This over here is going to be your windshield reservoir. You always want to make sure that's top tip for your long journeys. And that's going to be your engine oil. So there's nothing wrong with preventative measures, just checking that before you go on a long trip. Your new generation Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid is going to come with a 10-year, 160,000 kilometer powertrain warranty, 5-year, 130,000 kilometer new car warranty bumper to bumper, also 5-year, 130,000 K roadside assist, and most importantly, it's going to come with a 8-year, 160,000 kilometer battery warranty. Now, to hold this warranty, it's really important that your servicing gets done at a Mitsubishi agent. The other thing is, your first checkup is going to be at 1 month or 1,500 kilometers. Key. So anything worrying you, you're not sure about anything, make notes, have a chat with the sales consultant that sold you the vehicle or our service department, and we can help you out and assist you wherever we can. After that, it's going to be every 15,000 kilometers or a year, whatever comes first. We do offer loan vehicles as well, so just ensure you give us a bit of notice if that's going to be required. So the team here at Simon Lucas Mitsubishi would just like to say thank you so much for your business. We really appreciate it. And we wish you many, many happy kilometers ahead of you. And it's obviously going to be a very cost-effective way of traveling. So thank you once again. Keep well. All the best.